Good morning, readers. Have you been waiting for the next book about your favorite medical examiner, Kenzie Kirsch? The moment you have been waiting for is here. Currying Death, book number 11 in the Kenzie Kirsch Medical Thriller series, is officially out now. It all starts when Kenzie is called to a seemingly routine death scene, but what initially appears to be a natural death quickly unravels into something far more sinister as Kenzie delves deeper into the circumstances surrounding the sudden passing of Scott Robertson, a young man of just 27, his strained relationships and his rapidly deteriorating health. Currying Death is a medical thriller at its heart, packed with the forensic detail and intricate puzzles you've come to expect from my Kenzie Kirsch series. If you love police procedurals and forensic thrillers that peel back the layers of a mysterious death, you are going to love this. Readers who enjoy delving into character-driven stories, who appreciate a protagonist like Kenzie, who's not only brilliant but also deeply empathetic, will find themselves hooked. If you're fascinated by the science behind death investigation, the subtle clues bodies reveal, and the relationships between medical examiners and police detectives, then Currying Death is definitely for you. For those of you who are new to the Kenzie Kirsch series, don't worry. Each Kenzie Kirsch medical thriller is designed to be read as a standalone mystery. You can jump right into Scott Robertson's perplexing case without feeling lost. Of course, if you fall in love with Kenzie and her world, and I hope you will, there are 10 other books in this series for you to binge read, and 2 more, Healed to Death and Death's Charm, coming out over the summer. Not only that, but the Kenzie Kirsch Medical Thriller series also intertwines with the Zachary Goldman Mysteries Private Investigator series with 19 books out. That's a total of 32 books in this world, if you're counting. Sandy says, another great read from the brilliant P.D. Workman. As Kenzie investigates the death of a young man, she quickly finds something amiss. As always, the characters are well drawn and believable, the plot nice and twisty, and the storytelling exceptional. Highly recommended. Candy says, I absolutely love this series. The interactions between Kenzie and Zachary are always interesting as they hash out each other's cases. Never a dull moment. I flew through this book quickly so I could find out who done it. Can't wait to see what cases they will get next. Kim says, I'm always intrigued by Kenzie's adventures because each story is so original and different from all her previous cases. Her world is filled with interesting characters that all have their own issues, interests, grievances, and personal foibles. For my money, this is a great series for anyone who loves a good mystery that offers plenty of detail to provide authenticity and hold your interest without extraneous gore, violence, or bad language. I've recorded a few short passages from Currying Death to give you a taste of the intrigue without giving anything away. Kenzie was bent over her computer, finishing up her notes and reports on the death of an elderly man, Casey Earle, when Dr. Cook approached her desk. He walked with a sense of purpose, but did not have a stack of paperwork in his hands, so Kenzie straightened up expectantly. She brushed a few dark curls away from her face. What's up? Feel like attending a death scene? Sure, Kenzie agreed. She saved and closed her documents and started to tidy her desk. What have we got? Man found dead in his apartment. Paramedics were called to the scene. Nothing they could do. He'd been lying there for some time. Kenzie nodded. Probably not anything too unusual about it. Someone who had died in his sleep, maybe a heart attack or stroke. How long is for some time? She asked cautiously. It could be anywhere from a few hours to a few weeks, and she wanted to be prepared for what she would find. Sometime today, Dr. Cook told her with an understanding grin. It always threw her for a loop when he smiled like that. He had the face of a movie star, not an experienced pathologist. Most of the time she didn't really see his good looks anymore. They'd worked together for a few months while Dr. Wiltshire was on medical leave, and once she'd worked over a few dead bodies with him, her consciousness of his appearance had faded. She didn't notice it unless he did something like smile at her in that relaxed, understanding way. Phew! Zachary was lucky she didn't believe in office romances. Nice and fresh, Kenzie approved. That's good. Looks like natural causes? Cook pursed his lips. I will leave that up to you to determine. I would not want to bias you in any way. I told you, Rachel was saying in the hall. If you're going to have a cat, you need to keep it shut in your room. It can't just be wandering all over the apartment. I told you before, she aggravates Scott's allergies. She suddenly went quiet. Well, she isn't going to aggravate them any more, is she? Alex sighed. I am sorry. I said that. Neither of us was watching her when we went to call the ambulance and answer the door. She just snuck in. It was unintentional. Normally, she couldn't get into Scott's room. That was why she was so curious about it. She shouldn't have the run of the apartment. You shouldn't have even gotten a cat while he was living here. It's common courtesy. You talk to the people in the household before you bring an animal in. Scott would never have agreed to a cat. His allergies were so bad. So Cuddles was the reason for the antihistamines on the side table. Kenzie felt sorry for Robertson, who had not been in good health, to have had this additional trial to deal with. Not just the allergy, but the ongoing fight with his roommate about it, and the contention between his girlfriend and his roommate. It wouldn't have been easy for him to deal with on top of his illness. Why don't we go back into the living room, she suggested. It's going to be a while before I can transport the body. I may as well ask a few questions while I'm waiting. Poisonings can be tricky, Campbell acknowledged, and they're rare, so you aren't always looking for them. He opened the folder to look at Robertson's picture. A young man, not your usual demographic for a poisoning victim. Kenzie raised her brows. Is there a usual demographic? Most of the victims of poisoning are infants and elderly, much easier to administer poison to. Oh, well, I guess that makes sense. And is it true that poison is usually a woman's weapon? Statistically, most poisonings, at least the ones we discover, are perpetrated by men. But when you look at the choice of weapons between the two genders, women are far more likely to choose poison when they kill. Men go for guns or blunt objects. Women are, if I remember correctly, about 4 times more likely to pick poison than men. Women are more hands-off. Well, I don't know if I'd say that. They are also more likely to stab you or throw you out a window. Kenzie gasped in surprise at his statement and ended up coughing. She covered her mouth and took a minute to recover. Sorry, Campbell said, grinning and not looking the least bit sorry. Need to break down these stereotypes. Women do not just sit at home plotting murder and slipping arsenic into hubby's tea. I guess not, Kenzie said, with a little laugh, still trying to catch her breath. Ready to dive in? Currying Death is available at all of the big online retailers and my online store at shop.pdworkman.com. Immerse yourself in Kenzie's latest challenge as she uncovers the truth behind a puzzling death that's more than meets the eye. Grab your copy today at shop.pdworkman.com or any of the major online retailers.